So something that came to my mind earlier yesterday evening was how when I was younger, me and my family, we would take this local train, right? It was called the Tri-Rail, if I'm not mistaken. And this train would travel through probably about 9 to 10 different counties in southern Florida. One of the things about this train is that unlike most train stations, there wasn't a place for you to necessarily go and buy a ticket. You actually had to use a machine to purchase your ticket. And so you you had to be on time. You had to be on time. And sometimes you had to be before time because there were different times where the train would actually come early and depart early because maybe the conductor, I think is called, was able to be at every stop at the appointed time. And so there's times where there's a little extra time, and so the conductor can arrive at a location early and depart early. And so you had to know when the train was going to come. And if you were just late, if you just said, well, maybe I have 5 minutes to spare, or I know the train comes at 6:57, but I stay 5 minutes down the road. I'll just leave at 6:53 or whatnot, and you get caught in traffic, and not to count that you have to actually go and purchase a ticket. All of that takes time. Did you know that whether you were late or just could not make it on time, the one thing about a train is it's gonna leave whether you are in it or not. Whether you are on board or not, it's going to leave and it's gonna go to its destination. It's not going to wait on you. Every now and then you may see one of the security officers on the train and they may give you a few minutes, but keep in mind that there are other people that are on this train. They have to go to a place. They have to be somewhere at a certain time. And so you may have a little grace period. But if that grace period runs out, then you miss the train. You miss the train. It doesn't matter how important your destination was to you. It doesn't matter where you needed to be at the appointed time. If you were not at that train station when the train arrived, then you missed it. You missed it. And I want to let you know that Jesus Christ, he is that train. He is that one-way train, meaning this train is only going one direction. This train is only going to pass through one time. And so you cannot delay. You cannot say, my master or my Lord delays his coming. Jesus talks about that in Matthew 24 and I believe Luke 12 about that wicked servant that says, my Lord delays his coming. Jesus talks about people like that. People like that miss the train. Yeah. Jesus gave the parable of the thief that broke into the house. He said that if the good man of the house had known what hour the thief was going to come, then he would not have suffered or allowed the thief to break into his house and to take things. And so we have to be ready at all times because we don't know when Jesus is coming back. That's why I gave the example of the train, because when I was younger, we often rode the train a lot, and there were times where if we were behind schedule, my parents would rush. And there may have been a time where we might have missed it one time. And it was because, my dad, he underestimated the time of the train. He thought he had more time. And so when we arrived, the train was already there. And not to mention that our family was a decent size. It was at least 7 of us. And so not only do you got to buy a ticket for yourself, but you have to buy a ticket for all the rest of these people. And like I said, the train station where we were, it wasn't like the nationwide train stations where you can actually go inside and speak to a person and get tickets that way all at once. No, we were dealing with a machine. And so sometimes, back then, things took bills. So there would be times when we would put the bill in, the bill would come back out, the machine would spit the bill out. And it's like, listen, this is not the time for you to be acting crazy. We're trying to get on this train and it's about to leave. So there was a time where the train actually did leave us. It did leave us because for whatever reason, like I said, maybe my parents underestimated the time that the train said it was going to be here, because, things happen. Sometimes the plane shows up late, the train shows up late, the boat shows up late. Things happen. And so we got left that day. And I think after that, we never missed a train after that, because I don't know. I think my parents just kind of felt like, listen, if we're going to make it to where we're going, then we all have to be on time. And so that may look like us getting up earlier. That may look like going to bed earlier. That may look like making sure that everything is prepared the night before, because we have somewhere to be and we cannot afford to miss this train. Yeah. You know what it's like to miss a train or to miss a plane or a boat, whatever form of transportation you've ever taken. Do you know what it's like to miss it? Yeah, first of all, it's stressful. And it really does set the whole day back for you. The whole day back. Yeah, I've never missed a flight boarding a plane, but I know people who did. And it caused a lot of frustration. It really just set a chain reaction to chaos and a delay in things, to where that person did not have peace. That person was supposed to be back home at this time and on this day so that they can be back to work. And it just set everything off. And so you can't afford to miss this train. You cannot afford to miss this train. Even if no one else goes along with you, you better make sure that you are on this train. So I said I wanted to look at Matthew 24. Jesus gives this parable. Verse 46. He says, let me start at verse 45. Verse 44. Verse 44. And you're gonna hear why. Therefore, be you also ready. You got to be ready for this train. For in such an hour as you think not, the Son of Man comes. Yeah, when you think that train is not going to arrive at 7 o'clock, although when you looked online, when you looked in the newspaper, when you checked your phone and it said it was coming at 7, maybe you felt like, man, people are late. The world is a busy place. I think that I can make it at 7:01, or I think that I can show up at 6:55. Yeah. He says, when you think that the Son of Man is not coming, who then is faithful and wise, or who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord has made ruler over his household, to give them meat in due season? Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he comes, shall find doing so. Meaning, when that train pulls up, you are ready and you are prepared. You have your luggage, you have your ticket, you have everything that you need to board this train. You're not like those that are, scrambling through stuff. You're not the one hitting the machine because it done took your $20 bill, and nothing is just seeming to be going your way at this moment. You're not going to be that person that just, they want to try to make it at the last minute. No, you want to be that person that's ready, because as I stated, ready or not, when that train pulls up, if you are not on that train within the time that train is there, you're going to miss it. One of the things that I would notice when we would ride this train when I was younger is at certain stops, it would stay longer than usual. But then at other stops, it was literally like, I don't know, but it would feel like at times where, depending on what we got on at, you literally had to be moving with the train and to get on it. Like, that's how it was at some stops. Like, you literally had like 120 seconds to board this train. So you had to really, depending on where you got on at, you really had to make sure you had everything. Because that train was only going to be at this location for a limited time. And so when it started moving and those doors closed, once those doors closed, It doesn't matter that you have a ticket at this point. It doesn't matter that you have your luggage. It doesn't even matter that you're here. When those doors closed, I tell you the truth, that train kept going. Yeah, I would recall and remember, seeing different people actually having to chase the train. And it did not stop. It doesn't matter where they needed to be, how important this train ride was. It did not matter if you were not there at the appointed time. That train left. It doesn't need you to be on it. And then Jesus says this here in red letter words. Verily I say unto you that he shall make him ruler over all his goods. But if that evil servant shall say in his heart, my Lord delays his coming, and shall begin to smite his fellow servants, and to eat and drink with the drunkens, the Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looks not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of, and shall cut him asunder, and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Luke, I believe 12, says the same thing. So there is a train that is going one way. Jesus is that train. It says in John how Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And he's handing out tickets. That's the access to the heart. That's your ticket to be able to actually board the train. Yeah. If your name is not on the list, if you cannot be properly identified, then you will not be able to board this train. You may think, well, I've boarded trains before without a boarding ticket or without a passing ticket. Yeah, and it's not until the security officer or whatever they were when they would wear their little hats and dress up in their nice uniform, whatever they were, when they would walk around checking for tickets, if you were someone who thought you were just going to sneak on and get past security, when they found you and they caught you, you got dropped off at the next stop. It doesn't matter that this is no longer in your county. Yeah. When they caught you boarding without a ticket, yeah, they dropped you off at Pompano. Although, you got on at Palm Beach, Magnolia Park. Yeah. When they caught you, they dropped you off at the next stop. And now you're miles away from your home, but also you're miles away from your destination. And so that's not going to work with Jesus. When he comes through your city, whether you're ready or not, that train is going to keep going. That transportation is going to go to its destination. And so whether you say, well, maybe I don't think it's going to come at the appointed time, and you delay and you kind of just hesitate and you procrastinate, do know that when that train shows up, if you are not ready, it's not going to wait for you. It's not going to wait for you. You may say, but I'm waiting for everyone else. Listen, it's not going to wait for you. You have to get on board now. And so we are preparing for the return of Jesus Christ. We have to be ready because he's coming in an hour that we look not for. People have been saying that Jesus Christ has been coming back for a very long time. That's the thing. They've been saying that Jesus Christ is coming back for a long time and we've not seen him yet. However, if we check our schedule, just like you would do with the train schedule, there is some things, some events that are to occur that lets us know that this train is getting close, that Jesus Christ is near, that Jesus Christ is coming back. He talks about how in, Matthew 24, how different things are going to happen. There's going to be famines. There's going to be pestilence, disease. There's going to be wars. There's going to be sickness. He talks about how the hearts of man are going to wax cold. Yeah, the world is going to become darker. People are going to be given over to their lust. People are going to be given over to familiar spirit. People are going to be given over to a reprobate mind and a spirit of delusion. Yeah, these things are happening right now. And as we look out and we see these things, that's an indicator that this train is getting closer and closer and closer. I don't know what it's going to be at my stop, but what I do know is that I want to be ready because I understand that when this train comes, it's going to keep going. It doesn't matter who's on it and who's not on it. It's going to keep going because it's headed somewhere. It's headed to the final destination that we all want to arrive to, but not everybody is going to make it. Not everybody is going to be able to go where this train is going, but you better be ready. You better be prepared. You got to prepare now. It's just like that Amazon package. You know that something is coming. You know that something is arriving. And, back then, there was a time where you actually had to sign for a package. Nowadays, they just, throw it in front of your house. But when I was growing up, somebody actually had to be home in order to receive this package. And so you were notified and you were made aware, hey, someone needs to be home on Thursday around 3 p.m. And if nobody was home and you missed the delivery guy, guess what? You missed the package. You missed the package. And then there was a possibility that the delivery guy was going to come tomorrow and someone had to be home. But you may say, but I work, but we're busy. Can't you all just set up something else? Like, no, this is the protocol. This is the way things are going. And so if no one's home, then you're just going to miss out. And so if no one is in position, if nobody is ready, if no one can receive what's coming, then you're not going to get the package. It's not going to be delivered to you. And so it's just that way with Jesus. We have to be in position and ready for him to return. You have to know that he's coming. He's coming. He may not be coming right now, but he may come tomorrow. We don't know. Jesus says that only the Father himself knows, and that we must be ready. We have to live every day like it's our last. We have to live every day like it's our last, because the moment you begin to think within yourselves, Jesus Christ is not coming, that's when he's going to come. He says like a thief in the night. Yeah, like a thief in the night. Yeah. The only reason why someone would need to be home is to receive this package. And you made sure that someone was there to sign. Someone was there to sign, because what you are getting in the mail is important to you and you need it. That's why you ordered it. You ordered it. And so if we are a distracted people, because distractions are occurring, they're happening. If we are a distracted people, then we're not going to be sensitive and vigilant to the times that we are in. And when that train does come, we're going to miss it. We're going to miss it. We may say, well, I can just get there at this time. But what if it comes early? What if he comes earlier than you think? And what if he does not? What if he comes after your time? What if Jesus decides to come after you are long gone? Well, at least you were ready, and at least you were prepared. At least you were in position. You want to live a life ready. You want to live a life like you know that train is coming right now. Tomorrow, no, I already know that Jesus Christ is coming. And so I'm ready. I'm prepared. I have my boarding pass. I have my luggage. I have my food, your little traveling snacks, your earphones, your earbuds, whatever you want to call them, your neck pillow. You have everything that you need to board this plane, because you know that where it's going, you got to get there. You have to arrive at your destination. And like I said, everybody is not going to be able to board this train. But you got to make it on this train. Everybody's not going to be able to board. They're going to think that they're going to be able to board. But if you don't have a ticket that matches Jesus' ticket, if he cannot properly identify you, you will not be able to board this train. This is not like any other train that you've been on, like I said. No, you have to be ready to board it. You have to be ready. You have to be ready in your heart, in your mind. You have to be ready. He's coming. He's coming. And we don't really know the exact time nor the day. But when he comes, you want to make sure you have your boarding pass. You want to make sure that you are able to get on this train, because it's not coming back around again. You may say, well, I'll just catch the next one, because, in the physical, you miss one train, a lot of times you just have to wait for the next one, if it's not something where you actually had to be there at a certain time. You just wait for the next train. I'll just wait for the next plane. I'll wait for the next train. I'll wait for the next boat. I'll wait for the next ride. That's it. But this train is not like that. No. Once it comes, that's it. That's it. It's a one-way train, and it's a one-time train. It's coming. Don't think that it's not. That train is coming. It doesn't matter who all decides to leave the station and feel like this is taking too long. I have better things to do. Yeah, that's what they did in the book of Acts when Jesus told them to wait for the promise that God was going to send. A lot of people got tired and they stopped waiting. They got tired of waiting on the promise of God. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of people that's going to show up at the train station. They're going to get their ticket and they're going to tap their feet. And when that train doesn't come, when they think the train should come, they're going to begin to leave the train station. And you have to let that not discourage you. Wait a minute. I thought y'all said Jesus was coming back. It's been over 2,000 years. Where is he at? You know what? I have better things to do back in the world. Yeah. And they're going to go and they're going to leave and they're going to find things to do. Just like the people in the book of Acts 2. They left and they found better things to do. You don't want that to be you. And so you cannot afford to miss this train. You cannot afford to do what everybody else is doing. But they're leaving. What about me? No, you wait. He told you it's coming. Stand and wait and believe. Believe that he's going to keep his word. Believe that he's going to show up. At least you were ready and prepared. It may come early, it may come on time, it may delay, but you better be ready. Because when it comes, if you are not on it, it's going to keep going. Nobody's going to go down a list to make sure you are there. No, it's going to keep going. They're not going to do no roll call. They don't do that on planes and buses and boats and trains. They don't do no roll call. No, they don't. It's like, listen, my job is to drive this thing. If you are not here, if you are not on it, we're going to go to the next destination and get those that are prepared and ready. No, we're not waiting for you. Sorry that you woke up late. Sorry that you decided to go to bed late. Sorry that you decided to do other things and you were not prepared enough. But this thing is going to keep going. It has to keep moving because you're not the only one. It's not all about you. It's all about Jesus. It's all about where this train is going. Jesus is that train, and he's the only way to the Father. You want access to eternal life? Then you have to get on board. You have to get on board, and you have to have your ticket. And that ticket is your heart. Your heart has to be in alignment with who God is. If he cannot properly identify you, then you will not be getting on this train. And so that's my message today. That's my encouragement today in Jesus' name.